What if I told you that scattered across this planet, built by human hands, shaped by nature itself, and etched into the bones of our history, there exist places so extraordinary, so mind-bending, so impossibly magnificent, that the moment you see them, something inside you changes forever. Welcome. This is not just a list. This is a journey. Today we're counting down the 10 wonders of the world, and we are going all the way in. The history, the mysteries, the legends, the facts that will make your jaw drop. Whether these wonders were carved by ancient kings, forged by glaciers, or built over lifetimes by thousands of nameless workers, every single one of them tells a story about what it means to be alive on this planet. If you've never felt small before, you will today. Welcome. Let's make it legend. Wait for it. Dairy. Legendary. Sit back, turn up your volume, because we are about to visit 10 of the most incredible places ever to exist on Earth. Let's go. The Colosseum, Rome, Italy. We start our journey in the heart of a city that was once the center of the known world. A city built on blood, ambition, genius, and an obsession with spectacle that would make modern Hollywood blush. Ladies and gentlemen, we begin with the Colosseum of Rome. Built between 70 and 80 AD under Emperor Vespasian and completed by his son Titus, the Colosseum, officially known as the Flavian Amphitheatre, is the largest amphitheatre ever built. And I mean ever. At its peak, it could hold between 50,000 and 80,000 spectators. Let that sink in. That is more than many modern sports arenas today. And this thing was built nearly 2,000 years ago. The Romans weren't just engineers, they were perfectionists. The Colosseum had 80 entrances, so that the entire crowd could be seated and evacuated in minutes. They called this system the vomitorium. And yes, that word is as wild as it sounds. Now, what happened inside the Colosseum? The answer is everything. And not all of it was pretty. Gladiatorial combat, wild animal hunts called venationes, where lions, tigers, elephants, hippos and bears were brought in from across the empire. At one point, the Romans allegedly flooded the arena for mock naval battles. Imagine that, a sea battle inside a stadium. Historians estimate that over the centuries, more than 1 million animals and possibly 400,000 humans perished within those walls. It was entertainment. It was power. It was the Roman Empire on full display. What makes the Colosseum a wonder isn't just its size, it's its survival. Earthquakes, wars, centuries of people literally stealing its stone to build other Roman buildings. It should not still be standing. But it is. And today, nearly 6 million tourists visit it every year, making it one of the most visited monuments on Earth. The Colosseum doesn't just show you ancient Rome, it makes you feel it. Stand inside those ancient arches and try not to hear the echoes. At number 9, we have Chichen Itza, Mexico. Deep in the jungles of Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, there is a city that was old when Europe was still in the Dark Ages. A city built by people who understood the cosmos better than most civilizations of their time. A city with secrets we are still unlocking. This is Chichen Itza, and it will change how you think about human intelligence. Chichen Itza was one of the largest cities of the ancient Maya civilization, flourishing between roughly 600 and 1200 AD. At its height, it may have been home to more than 35,000 people. The name itself, Chichen Itza, translates roughly to "at the mouth of the well of the Itza people." The Itza were a Maya group, and wells, or cenotes, were considered sacred portals to the underworld. The centerpiece of Chichen Itza is El Castillo, the Temple of Kukulkan. And this pyramid is not just impressive, it is a calendar built in stone. It has 4 sides. Each side has 91 steps. At the top platform, that's 365 steps total, one for every day of the year. But here's what truly blows minds. Twice a year, on the spring and autumn equinoxes, as the sun sets, the shadows on the pyramid's staircase create the illusion of a giant serpent slithering down toward the earth.
The Mayans called this the return of Kukulkan, the feathered serpent god. This was not an accident. This was calculated. This was engineered. Nearly 1,000 years ago. In 2015, archaeologists using ground-penetrating radar discovered a second pyramid hidden inside El Castillo. A pyramid within a pyramid. They also found an underground river flowing beneath the site. It is still being studied. The sacred cenote at Chichen Itza? Archaeologists found gold, jade, and human skeletal remains at the bottom, suggesting ritual sacrifices. The Maya believed this cenote was a direct line to Chark, the rain god. Chichen Itza is not ruins. It is a message from one of the most brilliant civilizations to ever walk this earth, and we are only beginning to read it.
Victoria Falls, Zambia, Zimbabwe. Everything up to this point has been made by human hands. The next 2 wonders were made by something far older, far more powerful, far more indifferent to our existence. Welcome to the largest waterfall on Earth. This is Mosi Otunya, the smoke that thunders. You may know it as Victoria Falls. Numbers cannot prepare you for this, but let's try. Victoria Falls is approximately 1,708 metres wide and 108 metres tall. The Zambezi River, one of Africa's mightiest rivers, pours over this cliff at rates that can reach 500 million litres of water per minute during peak flood season. The spray from the falls can be seen from 50 kilometres away. The roar can be heard from 40 kilometres. It creates its own permanent rainforest on the opposite bank, called the rainforest, fed entirely by the mist.
The local Kololo people named it Mosi Otunya, the smoke that thunders. That name is poetic, accurate, and frankly more magnificent than the colonial name slapped on it by Scottish explorer David Livingstone in 1855, who renamed it after Queen Victoria. There is a growing movement, and honestly a valid one, to restore the original name. But in international tourism and most maps, both names are used. Victoria Falls sits on the border of Zambia and Zimbabwe. And yes, you can swim there, at the edge of the falls. During certain months of the year, a natural rock pool called Devil's Pool forms right at the lip of the waterfall. You can swim to the edge, look over, into the abyss, with nothing but a rock ledge between you and a 108-metre drop. People do this, voluntarily, for fun. And honestly, looking at the videos, I understand completely. Victoria Falls does not care how impressive you think humans are. One look, one listen, and it will remind you that nature has been doing extraordinary things here for millions of years before we arrived. Machu Picchu, Peru.
In the clouds above the sacred valley of Peru, perched on a ridge between 2 mountain peaks, there is a city that the Spanish conquistadors never found. a city that the jungle swallowed whole for centuries, a city that should not, by any engineering logic, exist where it does. This is Machu Picchu, and it is one of the greatest achievements in the entire history of human civilization. Built in the 15th century by the Inca Emperor Pachacuti, Machu Picchu sits at an altitude of 2,430 meters, almost 8,000 feet above sea level, in the Andes Mountains of Peru. For reasons still debated by historians, the site was abandoned around 1572, likely connected to the Spanish conquest of the Inca Empire. Then, for roughly 400 years, it was forgotten by the outside world, hidden, covered by jungle, known only to local people. In 1911, American historian Hiram Bingham III was led there by a local boy, Melchor Arteaga, after asking about ancient ruins. What Bingham discovered, already known to locals, he called the lost city of the Incas. It wasn't lost, it was just hidden. Here is what makes Machu Picchu truly astonishing. No mortar was used in its construction. None. The Inca used a technique called ashlar, cutting stones so precisely that they fit together perfectly without any adhesive whatsoever. Some of these stones weigh several tons. They were dragged up mountain slopes by human labour,
and they have survived major earthquakes because the joints allow slight movement, then settle back into place. This is earthquake-resistant architecture from the 15th century. The site also features sophisticated agricultural terraces called andenes, which prevented erosion and created microclimates for growing food, and a drainage system so well engineered that it still functions today, more than 500 years later. Machu Picchu is not just a wonder of engineering, it is evidence that human ingenuity, when driven by vision, can achieve the seemingly impossible, anywhere, at any altitude, in any era.
The Taj Mahal, India.
Everything we've discussed so far has been about power, about military might, divine authority, or the conquest of nature. This next wonder is about none of that. This wonder is about love. In 1631, Mumtaz Mahal, wife of Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan, died during childbirth. She was his favourite wife, his closest companion, and reportedly his greatest love. Shah Jahan was devastated. By some accounts, he refused to eat for days. His hair, they say, turned grey within a year. So he did what emperors do when they want to make a statement. He decided to build her a tomb. But not just any tomb. He would build the most beautiful building the world had ever seen. Construction began in 1632 and took approximately 22 years to complete, requiring an estimated 20,000 workers drawn from across the empire and beyond. Architects from Persia, calligraphers from Syria, craftsmen from Central Asia. The main structure is built from white Makrana marble, which has the remarkable property of changing colour depending on the light. Pink at dawn, brilliant white at noon, golden at sunset, glowing silver in moonlight. The marble was transported from Rajasthan over 400 kilometres away on the backs of 1,000 elephants. Precious stones, jade, crystal, lapis lazuli, amethyst, turquoise, were inlaid into the marble walls in a technique called Petra dura. 28 different types of gemstone were used. Every element of the Taj Mahal is intentional. The 4 minarets lean slightly outward, so that if they fell, they would fall away from the main tomb, not onto it. The gardens are divided into 4 quadrants, representing the 4 rivers of paradise in Islam. The entire complex is a representation of paradise on earth. Shah Jahan planned to build an identical black marble tomb for himself across the Yamuna River, connected by a silver bridge. he never got the chance. His own son, Aurangzeb, imprisoned him in Agra Fort. From his prison window, for the last 8 years of his life, Shah Jahan could see the Taj Mahal. The Taj Mahal is the most expensive love letter ever written, and 400 years later, it is still the most beautiful.
The Aurora Borealis. Some wonders are built, some are carved, some are a monument to love or power. And then there are the wonders that simply happen, without warning, without permission, without caring whether you are watching. The Aurora Borealis, the Northern Lights, is the most breathtaking natural light show on Earth. Here is what is actually happening when you see the aurora. Charged particles from the sun, electrons and protons, are constantly streaming through the solar system in what's called the solar wind. When these particles reach Earth, our planet's magnetic field deflects most of them. But near the poles, the field lines converge and particles can enter the upper atmosphere. When they collide with oxygen and nitrogen molecules 60 to 200 miles above the Earth's surface, energy is released as light. Different molecules at different altitudes produce different colours. Oxygen at high altitudes produces red. Oxygen lower down produces green, the most common aurora colour. Nitrogen produces blue and purple. You are watching, essentially, the Earth's magnetic field made visible. You are watching our planet protect itself and making art in the process. The best places to see the Northern Lights are Norway, Iceland, Finland, Sweden, Canada and Alaska, all within the auroral zone.
The southern hemisphere has the Aurora Australis, the Southern Lights, visible from Antarctica, southern Argentina and parts of Australia and New Zealand. The lights are most active during periods of high solar activity. They can appear as shimmering curtains, rippling waves, or dancing flames across the sky. And no photograph, no matter how good, fully captures what it is like to stand beneath them. Standing under the Northern Lights, I dare you not to feel like the universe is trying to tell you something.
Petra, Jordan. Imagine walking through a narrow canyon, towering rose-red sandstone cliffs pressing in on either side, the sky a thin ribbon above you. You walk, and then, around a final curve, the canyon opens, and there, carved directly into the face of a mountain, stands a 40-metre tall palace that has been there for over 2,000 years. This is Petra, and it is unlike anything else on Earth. Petra was the capital city of the Nabatean kingdom, an Arab civilization that flourished from the 4th century BC until the Roman annexation in 106 AD. The Nabateans were master traders who controlled the caravan routes between Arabia, Egypt, and the Mediterranean. They became extraordinarily wealthy, and they built their wealth in stone. The name Petra comes from the Greek word for rock. It is also called the Rose City for the colour of the sandstone from which it was carved. And when I say carved, I mean that. Petra is not a city built on the ground, it is a city carved into the cliffs. The most famous structure is Al-Khazni, the treasury. It stands 40 metres tall and 28 metres wide, carved entirely from a single sandstone cliff. The detail is extraordinary. Corinthian columns, relief sculptures, intricate friezes, all done by hand, over 2,000 years ago. Why is it called the treasury? Because local Bedouin legend held that an Egyptian pharaoh had hidden his treasure inside the stone urn at the top. Bullet holes in the urn prove that people tried to shoot it open to release the gold. There is no gold.
But the legend persisted. Most people only see the treasury, but Petra is actually enormous.
The full archaeological zone covers over 260 square kilometers and contains more than 800 individual carved structures, temples, tombs, bathhouses, colonnaded streets, and a 7,000-seat Roman amphitheatre carved directly into the hillside. It is estimated that only 15% of Petra has been excavated. The rest is still buried. Petra is not just a wonder of the ancient world. It is a reminder that civilizations you have never heard of built things that would humble everything we construct today.
The Great Barrier Reef, Australia. Everything we've seen so far exists on the surface of the Earth. This next wonder exists below it, beneath the surface of the Coral Sea, off the northeastern coast of Australia. And it is so large, it can be seen from space. The Great Barrier Reef, the largest living structure on Earth. The Great Barrier Reef stretches for over 2,300 kilometers. It covers an area of approximately 344,400 square kilometers, larger than Italy. It consists of over 2,900 individual reefs and 900 islands. And it is alive. Entirely alive. The reef is made up of billions of tiny organisms called coral polyps, which build calcium carbonate skeletons. Over thousands of years, generation after generation, they built one of the most complex ecosystems on the planet. The numbers of species living in and around the Great Barrier Reef are staggering. More than 1,500 species of fish, 4,000 species of mollusk, 240 species of birds, 6 of the world's 7 species of marine turtle, 30 species of dolphin and whale, over 600 types of coral. It is not just a reef, it is a world.
An entire world thriving beneath the surface, almost entirely separate from our own. Here is where this wonder becomes more than beautiful. It becomes urgent. The Great Barrier Reef is dying. Ocean temperatures are rising due to climate change, causing mass bleaching events in which coral expels its algae, turns white, and may die. In 2016 and 2017, back-to-back bleaching events killed approximately 50% of the reef's shallow water coral. Scientists warn that if global temperatures rise 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels, a threshold we are approaching, the Great Barrier Reef may be functionally destroyed within decades. An ecosystem that took thousands of years to build could be gone within our lifetime. The Great Barrier Reef is the most alive thing on this list, and it may be the most endangered. To see it is extraordinary. To know we might lose it is the most urgent reminder that wonders require protection, not just admiration.
And in second place, we have the Great Wall of China. Across northern China, over mountains, through deserts, along cliff faces and riverbanks, stretching from the eastern coast to the western frontier, there is a wall. And not just any wall. The Great Wall of China is the longest man-made structure in the history of our species. And it almost doesn't matter how many times you see photographs of it, standing on it still makes your brain struggle to comprehend what it is looking at. The Great Wall was not built in one go. It was built, rebuilt, and extended by multiple Chinese dynasties over roughly 2,000 years, beginning as early as the 7th century BC. The most recognizable sections, the ones you see in photographs, with their watchtowers and crenellated battlements cutting across mountain ridges, were built during the Ming Dynasty, between 1368 and 1644 AD. Its primary purpose was defense against nomadic groups from the north,
including the Xiongnu, the Mongols, and various Turkic peoples. But it was also a road, a communication system, a customs checkpoint, and a symbol of imperial power.
The total length of all walls built throughout history is estimated at over 21,000 kilometers, enough to circle the globe halfway. The Ming-era wall alone stretches over 8,800 kilometers. Millions of workers were involved in its construction across the centuries. Soldiers, peasants, criminals, and war prisoners. Hundreds of thousands, possibly millions, died during construction. Some legends hold that the dead were buried within the wall itself. Excavations have occasionally confirmed human remains near the structure. The common claim that the Great Wall is visible from space is sadly a myth. It is too narrow, but it is visible from low Earth orbit under ideal conditions. And honestly, it barely needs the added mythology. Today, large sections of the Great Wall are crumbling, eroded by weather, damaged by vegetation, and unfortunately stripped of stones by local villagers for construction material over the centuries. Restoration is ongoing, but it is a massive challenge. The wall attracts over 10 million visitors a year at its most visited sections, and every single one of those visitors, standing atop those ancient stones with mountains stretching in every direction, feels the same thing. The Great Wall of China is not just a wonder, it is the crystallized ambition of an entire civilization, the physical embodiment of the human desire to endure.
And now, we've arrived. The greatest wonder of all. The Great Pyramid of Giza, Egypt. Of the original 7 wonders of the ancient world, compiled by Greek scholars over 2,000 years ago, only one still stands. Only one has survived the fall of empires, the sacking of cities, the passage of millennia. The Great Pyramid of Giza is not just the oldest wonder on this list, it is the oldest monumental structure still standing on Earth. And it was the tallest man-made structure in the world for nearly 4,000 years, longer than any other building in history. Built for Pharaoh Khufu around 2560 BC, the Great Pyramid originally stood 146.5 meters tall. It consists of an estimated 2.3 million stone blocks, each weighing between 2.5 and 80 tons. Some of the granite blocks in the interior chambers were transported from Aswan, over 800 kilometers away. The base of the pyramid is aligned with the cardinal directions, north, south, east, west, with an accuracy of less than 0.05 degrees of true north. That is more precise than the error margin of many modern construction projects. The sides of the Great Pyramid are not flat. They are very slightly concave, giving it 8 sides instead of 4 when viewed from a specific angle, from above during the equinox. This has been confirmed by aerial photography. Why? We don't fully know.
How was it built? That is one of the great unanswered questions of history. The ancient Egyptians had no iron tools, no wheeled vehicles at the time of construction, no pulleys, no cranes. Modern experiments and archaeological evidence suggest the blocks were dragged on sledges over wet sand, which dramatically reduces friction. Ramps of various designs were likely used to raise stones. Thousands of skilled workers, not slaves, contrary to popular myth, but paid labourers, worked in rotating teams. But here is the thing. Even with all our modern understanding of the logistics, the physics, the organisation, the sheer scale of the operation, no one has fully replicated it. We have never built anything like the Great Pyramid since. Not at that scale, not with that precision.
not that has lasted this long. The Great Pyramid is not just a tomb, it is a statement. It says, we were here, we were powerful, we understood the stars, the geometry of the earth, the weight of stone, and the will of a civilization. 4,500 years later, after every empire that has risen and fallen, after every language that has been forgotten, after every city that has crumbled to dust, that statement still stands. 146 meters of ancient limestone, 2.3 million stones, and it will still be there when everything built today is long gone. The Great Pyramid of Giza is not just wonder number one on a list. It is the closest thing on Earth to a permanent monument to human existence. It has outlasted everything. It may outlast everything still to come.
So there they are, 10 wonders of the world. The Colosseum, where Rome put the entire world on display. Chichen Itza, where the Maya encoded the cosmos in stone. Victoria Falls, where the Zambezi River has been thundering for millennia. Machu Picchu, built in the clouds by an empire that refused the limitations of gravity. The Taj Mahal, built out of grief and love and the need to make something eternal. The Aurora Borealis, the universe writing in light. Petra, the rose city carved from living rock. The Great Barrier Reef, the largest living thing on Earth and the most at risk. The Great Wall, the longest structure humans have ever built. And the Great Pyramid, the oldest standing wonder, the tallest structure for 4,000 years, the monument that will be here when everything else is dust. I want to leave you with one thought. Every single wonder on this list was called impossible before it was built. Every single one. The Great Pyramid, people said you couldn't cut and move those stones. Machu Picchu, people said you couldn't build a city on those cliffs. The Taj Mahal, people said you couldn't carve that level of detail from marble. And yet, human beings, with nothing but time, will, and imagination, made all of it real. That's not just history, that's a message to you, sitting wherever you are watching this video. If they could do that, with those tools, in that era, imagine what becomes possible for you. This was our very first video on this channel, and if you made it this far, thank you. Genuinely thank you. If you loved this journey, hit that subscribe button, because we are only just getting started. There are more wonders, more histories, more mind-blowing stories about this planet and the people on it. Drop in the comments, which wonder would you most want to visit? And which one surprised you the most? Until next time, keep exploring, keep wondering. The world is bigger and more extraordinary than you know.